Listen to the opening moments of any World Cup debut. The national anthems bleed directly into the deafening roar of the crowd, creating an environment where the physical air feels tight enough to shatter. This chart shows the historical survival rate of teams in the group stage. If a team drops their opening game, their probability of advancing drops too. It plummets, creating a statistical reality known as first match paralysis. That mathematical pressure transfers directly to the stands. Every fan gripping a scarf or wearing the crest carries the full weight of their nation's expectations, transmitting an undeniable emotional burden straight down to the pitch. Across the aisle, that energy meets an equal and opposing force. Thousands of rival supporters generate their own massive wall of national pride, turning the Stadium Bowl into a highly volatile, zero-sum environment. During the opening minutes, that crushing atmosphere forces both squads into survival mode. The game settles into a tense, scoreless tactical stalemate, where every single player is moving strictly to avoid making a fatal error. Finding a way through that initial deadlock takes technical skill, certainly, but more importantly, it requires an attacker to overcome the paralyzing fear of failure and confidently force the issue. Eventually, the rigid discipline holding the match together has to give way. Mexico found their opening by studying the opposition's shape. They noticed that while the South African defense was tightly compacted, their conservative positioning left crucial seams between the midfield and the backline. This top-down map shows how Mexico exploited those seams. Ignoring the crowded wings, they mapped precise passing lanes straight through the center. Suddenly, a burst of acceleration let the forwards slip past the defenders, meeting a perfectly weighted through ball inside the penalty area. When the ball finally struck the back of the net, the auditory shift was instantaneous. The anxious silence detonated into a massive, unadulterated roar. Scoring first provides the initial relief that allows a team to play with fluidity. It forces the opposition to abandon their defensive structure, resetting the emotional state of every player on the pitch. Now trailing, South Africa had no choice but to adjust. They immediately abandoned their safe low block formation and began committing players forward in a desperate hunt for the equalizer. This diagram shows the danger of that momentum. By pushing higher up the pitch, the defense vacated massive space, creating structural gaps. Mexico intentionally collapsed their shape to absorb the wave, drawing the opponent in before violently expanding to spring a trap. The resulting counterattack was completely ruthless. The Mexican forwards took the most direct route possible, turning a defensive clearance into a blistering sprint. Facing a defense that was completely out of position and scrambling to recover, the attackers maintained a cold, calculating precision to deliver the final strike. That second goal effectively ended the contest. By waiting for the opponent to overcommit, Mexico delivered a knockout blow designed specifically to punish their desperation. By the time the final whistle blew, the suffocating tension from the opening minutes was entirely gone, leaving behind clear lines of jubilation on one side and heartbreak on the other. The sheer physical scale of the arena amplifies these emotions. Tens of thousands of spectators looked down at the illuminated pitch, bearing witness to a psychological battle played out on the largest possible stage. Mexico proved they possess a lethal dual-threat identity. They demonstrated the patience required to pick apart a stubborn defensive block and the outright ruthlessness needed to punish a team that leaves itself exposed. This opening win brings the tournament's ultimate prize into focus. While the final is weeks away, the gold of the winner's trophy represents the long-term ambition that this first result makes statistically possible. A commanding opening victory like this broadcasts a clear warning to the rest of the group. It forces future opponents to recognize that they are facing a highly cohesive, adaptive squad. By securing these 3 points through tactical discipline, Mexico established a psychological baseline that they and their opponents will have to account for in every subsequent match.